Hey guys, Casey with KK Fitness Training, and I actually have a guest on today, talking to Quintez with New Motion Fitness. Want to just bring on another fitness professional, and we're just going to talk all things fitness and business, and so start us off. Hi, how are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So, how did you get into fitness?
Um, so fitness has always been a part of my life. I grew up playing sports at an early age, played baseball, and I did pretty good, caught on to it. As I got older, I started playing football and basketball a little bit. When I got out to high school, I ran track, football, basketball, and I wasn't good enough to go further than high school, but athletics and fitness was always something that I linked to and enjoyed a lot. So I went to the military and I was able to play intramural sports and base
Okay.
teams and stuff like that. And it just kind of something that's always been a part of my life. Even though I wasn't playing like um, professional or anything like that, I did like to play sports, and fitness was a big part of me being able to excel and be good, the best that I could be.
Okay. So I know you have a great story about how you got into stretching and all of that. So
Absolutely.
tell everybody how you got into stretching.
All right. So stretching. I have my oldest son Christian. He's special needs. He was born with no oxygen or heartbeat for 11 minutes, and with that situation, inquired a lot of challenges. Uh, se- Primarily severe brain damage. So he had severe brain damage, and one of the things that come with that was cerebral palsy. So with him having cerebral palsy and not being able to communicate and a lot of other challenges, it was hard for me to figure out a way to interact with them naturally.
Yeah.
So I would see people come in and do different therapies and stuff with them, and I was like, man, that I wanted to employ more people, but I didn't have the funding, and I was like, well, I can try to learn to do it myself. So I would stretch them and that sort of thing. But I wanted to make sure that I was doing the best possible job. So I started reading about stretching techniques, and I ran across a stretch therapy situation. I'm like, what is that? And I decided I was gonna get certified in stretch therapy and incorporate that into spending time with them,
Yeah.
because it was, like I said, it was very limited ways I could spend time with them. But
Right.
I was like, man, if I could spend time with them and stretch them out at the same time, that would be fantastic. And other parents seen me doing it because he's in a facility, and other parents started asking me to stretch their kids. So I would stretch their kids, and me stretching their kids kind of snowballed into parents asking me to stretch them, and then it just kind of drew legs.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that story. Whenever you mention it in networking, it just always fills my heart that, we sometimes get into things because of our kids that we
Right,
normally wouldn't
right.
necessarily be into.
hmm
So, what is something fitness or even just health related that you wish you knew back when you played football and all that in high school?
Um, So I'll be 46 next month. So there's a supplement that I love called creatine.
Oh, I love
I
creatine.
love creatine
So
is
important.
yeah. So it's now in year 2025. It's like one of the most researched supplements in the market. It has so
Yes.
much information about it.
Yep.
Um, but the bad stigma that it has on it is that it's a supplement for men, for gym bro type of
Right.
deal. Like
Yeah.
you want to be a big bodybuilder, you want to be like the Hulk or something like that. That's creatine. That was the kind of stigma it carried.
Yeah.
But me being in fitness and taking it serious, I started researching creatine, and my goodness, like it has so many benefits to it. Like it helps. Of course, what it does, it helps you to recover faster. It doesn't make you stronger or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just but it allows for you to become stronger because you recover faster.
And our body naturally creates it, and we get it from the meats that we eat, but we don't get a lot of it. If you are doing exercise, whether it's high intensity or CrossFit or whatever, we just don't get enough of it to help rebuild the muscles. And yeah, it's great for like 80-year-old women, and it's great for 12-year-old kids. Like, you know, everybody can benefit from it.
Even women who are pregnant.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing research. They're still doing research on it, but they're dabbling into it. Like, because like you said, it's a natural component that we have in our body. Our body naturally produces creatine. So that was fantastic that, you know, that came across, and I got that the information. I have older clients that come to get stretched, and a lot of times their soreness is on the severe level.
Yeah.
And their range of motion is on the severe, like, stiffness. So a lot of times I would talk to them about creatine, and I would ask them, you know, I'm not a doctor, so I'll be like, well, have you ever thought about creatine? And a lot of times they'd be like, no, because it has that stigma, like, it's for people that's in the gym and that's bodybuilders. I said, well, it's got a bad stigma, but you should look at it. You know, it can help your achy body parts to recover faster. So you need to mention it to your primary health provider and see if creatine is something that they would approve for you taking it, because I see a lot of benefits. On top of that, you know, it's a preventive measurement for cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. Has so many positive.
Can help with cognitive decline, you know, all that stuff. Brain fog, all those things that
helps. It could help with sleep. Like, it has so many positive benefits that people just don't know.
Yeah. And I agree. I love creatine. Creatine and BCAAs are the two things I tell my clients. If you can get these in, there's no bad effects. There's no downsides to it. They are beneficial to everyone. That's right. And they don't cost a ton of money. That's right. So it's an easy thing to get into. Right.
Even your bone, like its skeletal structure, like that's one of the things that help us to be able to keep a young appearance, a young disposition. If your skeletal system is strong, it can help. It can help hold your body together more and all that kind of stuff. So creatine is one of the proponents that can help that with that as well.
So you wish you knew more about creatine when you were younger?
Yes. I was afraid of it.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't trying to be a bodybuilder. I just wanted to be strong enough to be good at playing football. That was my favorite sport. Football was my favorite sport.
I think if it was on the shelf with like the collagen peptides or even the pills for inflammation and cognitive stuff, that like if it was on those shelves, more people would generate towards it and try it. But it's over with the protein, and people, oh well, you know, right. I'm not there. I don't need that.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure. And another thing that we've had a conversation about that I love is intermittent fasting and the benefits that carry as well.
Yes.
You understand?
And your body's either digesting or it's healing. And so you got to give it a break from food to heal. And everybody fasts to a degree because you got to sleep. Exactly. Unless you're one of those people that like sleepwalks and sleep eats or whatever, which is rare. You know, you're fasting anyway. So just prolonging that by a few hours, whether it's you stop eating earlier in the evening or you don't have a breakfast, like a normal breakfast, because breakfast is actually breaking your fast. So breakfast is anytime.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah. So that's what it's for. Break fast. You're breaking your fast.
Wow. Okay.
Don't ask me why lunch and dinner are called lunch and dinner. I only know breakfast. But you're always in some sort of intermittent fasting. Right. And so giving your body that time to heal from the inside out and those cells to regenerate and all that stuff is so important.
Yeah, anytime I hear fasting and then cells regenerating, I automatically go straight to autophagy.
Yeah.
And the benefits of that, you know. A lot of people don't know what autophagy is, but it basically is your body. When you're in the fasted state, your body at some point in time, whether it's an 8-hour period or 48-hour period, bodies are different. So different people achieve autophagy at different points of their body. But basically, it's when the cells start to eat and recycle old cells.
Yeah.
And this is important because we know that overgrowth of cells can be bad. I mean, can be bad. That's where cancer come from and other stuff. And it's healthy for skin improvement. All of the elasticity and stuff in your skin, all comes from old and bad cells. And autophagy helps with eating and recycling bad cells. I like to use the analogy of, you ever go camping and you have a campfire. When the fire burns low, the fire is searching for embers to burn.
Yeah.
It's trying to use the limited amount of wood that it has to kind of use for energy. But it's when you put a new log on those embers that now it don't concentrate on the embers no more because it has a new fuel source. So now it's going to concentrate on burning the log, and the embers will just stay where they are. So that's the same thing with eating.
Yeah.
When we're at a fasted state, the cells are looking for things to eat, so it's eating the degenerative cells. But as soon as you put new food in your body, now it's got a new fuel source, so now it's going to concentrate on the new food that's been introduced.
Yep. And even to the point of, depleting your muscles from the glycogen stores, so that way your body's training to burn fat versus carbs and food for energy. Like it's got nothing in the system. You still have to, but you also want to give it enough to burn the fire in calories. So you don't want to be drastically reduced for too long. Just enough to get the body to go, wait, I need something else. I'm going to get food, but I need something else until I get that food.
Right.
So,
a lot of my clients, they do want to lose weight. And I definitely promote transparency because if you're not completely transparent, I can't give you my best work. Right. So I need to know what your diet is and your lifestyle and et cetera. But specifically your diet, I will go into that because they'll come to me when they feel comfortable and they're super transparent. Some of them might have an alcohol problem, but I need to know. Let me know because if we want to get to the goal, we have to have everything on the table, right? So I break down. So you're drinking alcohol,
which is that fourth macro that nobody talks about. It
has calories. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. So you have alcohol in your system. Then you have carbs and sugars. Then you have fat. Then you have muscle, right? So the way the body burns calories is prioritized, and the priority sequence is first alcohol. It's burning. If you drink alcohol, the body's going to use the alcohol source to burn fast. First. That's going to be the first to be.
And it slows down that metabolism a little bit too. So it takes longer.
Slows down metabolism, and it's the first energy source that it's going to use. Then it's going to go to carbs and the sugar. Then it's going to go to the fat, what we want to target to lean out and to lose weight. Right. Yeah. But if you have these other two barriers before it gets to the fat, you're not making any progress.
No.
So, I try to explain it that way. And a lot of times it clicks, like they understand, like, okay, they might not completely stop drinking I'm not here to tell you to stop drinking. That's not the purpose of what I'm doing.
Right.
But if you saying that you want to lose weight and you want to live healthier, then that's
going to be something.
This is what I'm doing.
I tell mine, I'm like, if you're going to have the alcohol, have it after you eat. Have it as like your dessert, because if you put it in the system before that, it's going to take so much longer to burn through that food. And a lot of people, it's the end of the night anyway when they're having something. So not only is your body going into rest mode, that's going to take longer to burn all that off, but it's also slowing down even more because of the alcohol. And the alcohol is that fourth macro that carries. And if you do the math, like, because it'll say 4 carbs, but it has 100 calories. I'm like, that math doesn't math.
It's not math.
Does not math. Because carbs are only 4 calories per gram.
Right.
So if it's only got 4 grams, but it's got 100 calories, it should only have 16.
Right.
It shouldn't have,
Right.
So,
right. The marketing,
yeah.
it'll play you. You understand? You
Yeah.
got to understand what they're really doing
and
what's
yeah,
really being
it may
said.
only be 100 calories, but you got to know where those calories are coming from and what it's
Exactly.
going to do to the body.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. And this is why I wanted to have you on, because I know we have talked many times, and we kind of are on the same page on a lot of things.
Right.
So, what is, besides creatine? What are some of the other things you tell your clients that they need to focus on and look at?
So when it comes to supplement, I have when it comes to your diet, I have 3 basic things that I prescribe. Well, with supplementation, you have to have. To me, if you're gonna be my client, and for me to help you get the best results, you're gonna have creatine, you're gonna have protein, and your water intake is gonna be on point. Those are the 3 baselines. I don't care what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Physically with your body, those 3 are going to be in the picture. There's no way around it for me.
Yes.
But then we're tracking calories, we're tracking fats, we're tracking sugars, we're tracking protein, and we're tracking water. That's what I'm doing. And that's just been proven to be effective for all my clients, for myself. And that's what I go. That's been pretty successful for me.
Yeah. And that people don't realize, you can focus on all the exercise and all that stuff that you want, but if you're not eating right, I mean, you may lose weight, but you may not be gaining muscle, and you may not be, and it can affect your sleep and various other things. So, making sure that nutrition, which is so important, and prioritizing protein,
Right.
Protein and creatine, they're not going to bulk you up.
Yes.
It's just not
It's not, right.
unless that's your goal, and that's strategic.
And then, I mean, realistically, it could slim you out.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you got going on, like your body and what you're eating, and the stuff that the exercises that you're doing.
Yeah.
But like, to your point, like, if you're eating bad, you can't supplement your way out of a bad diet. You cannot supplement yourself out of taking supplements.
Yeah.
You have to. The diet is key. You have to be able to commit to some kind of regimen in working out.
And I've said it on here, and I've said it in networking and stuff. 1,000 calories of Oreo cookies are going to treat your body different than 1,000 calories of steak and potatoes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're going to feel different. You're going to be able to push differently in an exercise. You're going to be able to sleep. It's going to give your body different. So it's both 1,000 calories.
Right,
so if you're only tracking calories,
right.
It's what can you? And I'm the queen of fitting anything into my macros. I will find a way. If I really want that food, I will fit it.
Yeah.
But it may be that I have to eat very on point,
Right.
or
Right.
maybe I skip the dessert because I want another slice of pizza,
Okay.
or things like that. So
Gotcha.
it's figuring out, because I mean, in our American society, food is important. Food is memories, entertaining. Food is So you don't want to deprive yourself, because that's no fun, and it does get tiring, because I've been that person going to family events and being like, yeah, I'm not going to eat anything here, and having to explain and tell people.
Right.
I tell my clients, I'm like, if you're going to eat the food, track it, eat the food. Don't stress about it, because that just ups your cortisol level, and we don't need any more cortisol than we already have.
Right.
And then just stay on track before and after.
That's good.
Get right back and make the next right choice.
That's good.
Don't, because memories over macros. If you're having a birthday dinner, or you're doing something great, like, enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
And then move on.
Yep. And that's one thing that I try to stress. Like, you want to lose weight, and you want to live healthier. Before you make that decision, let's talk about the things that you're going to have to give up. And then we talk about what you're going to have to give up. Then we can make a more educated decision. Is this something that you want to do? Or maybe we need to figure out a different goal. Maybe the goal that you wanted to obtain or do, maybe you know what? I don't want to give up all of that. So
Right.
let's backtrack and figure something else out.
Yes.
And also with the creatine, I forgot to say that if you're taking creatine and that's something that you decide you're going to do, you have to exercise. Creatine doesn't work if you're not exercising.
Right.
It don't work. So that's important. A lot of people are misinformed that they prescribe that I can just take creatine and I'm not doing any
Yeah.
work.
No.
And that's just not it.
And the more if you've never taken creatine before, and you are working out and lifting weights or high intensity CrossFit, any of those things, whatever your cup of tea is, that you kind of need to build up those stores of creatine. So
Okay.
you start like 5 to 7 days taking more.
Okay.
And then backing it off, because you don't need to stay at that level long term.
Right.
And like any good thing, staying at a high level long term can be detrimental to a small degree. But that you can kind of stack it for 5 to 7 days, taking up to 25 grams, really get those muscles saturated with it, and then back it off, and it can stay at that level,
stay,
that
yeah.
higher level. You're just kind of topping off the fuel tank.
That's right.
With 5 grams a day.
That's right. And also with creatine, I just found out if you drink caffeine, like coffee, sodas, that there's actually the molecule in caffeine and creatine, they counter react. So
Yeah.
if you're drinking coffee and you take creatine within the hour window, you're not going to get the benefit.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, so make sure I tell my clients, like, if you drink coffee or soda, any of that kind of stuff, be sure to wait an hour before you.
I usually put it in my BCAAs in the morning.
Yeah, and that's fine.
when I'm having
Right,
that.
right,
So
right.
yeah, and creatine has no flavor.
Right.
You can put it in plain water. You don't notice it. It
Right.
dissolves completely. So you can really put it in anything.
Yeah.
And I have mixed it into my mac and cheese before.
Right,
like
right.
you can put it in anything.
Yeah. You guys are
so-
finding out my affinity with creatine and how important
I know.
you subscribe to
It
it.
is
Like,
so important.
Right.
And people just don't realize how, it's like $25 at most stores.
$25. Walmart you can get for 15.
Yeah.
I
And the better sources you can research and find, and they're
right.
going to be a little bit more. But just starting off, go get a simple thing, whatever, Walmart, Kroger,
Right,
find
right,
it and
right,
just get started in it,
Right.
and then figure out your way to do better.
And be careful. I mean, they have two types. They have monohydrate, and the other one is I can't remember. It's escaping me right now. But
Yeah.
that one they haven't done a whole lot of study on that one yet. So
Right. The monohydrate's usually what you see for the
right,
most
for the
part on.
and that's the one I would subscribe to for now. Not saying the other one's bad. It's just not it hasn't
Yeah.
been researched as much.
Right.
So you want it to keep it safe and simple and to be able to know exactly what you're getting, more precise.
Yeah.
Right now I would say if you could stay with the monohydrate.
Yep.
You know.
It is the most researched supplement
Right,
ever.
right,
So
right,
there's
right.
so many studies on it. And when I say like it eventually can have, if you do 25 grams for like years on end,
Right.
it can affect the kidneys.
That's right.
But ain't nobody doing that.
Right, right,
Nobody's
right,
doing
right,
that.
right,
We don't
right,
need to be
right,
doing
right,
that
right.
because most of them, a scoop is 5 grams,
Right.
and that's really all you need.
Right, right.
So yeah, I do that. Creatine and BCAAs are my two most favorite supplements out there.
yeah.
And again, everything depends on the quality, especially with BCAAs and stuff like that. You know, the better quality ones are going to cost you a little bit more, but if
Right.
you're just getting started,
Right.
go for what you can get.
Yes.
Don't stress about the brand, don't stress about the quality, just get what you can get,
Right.
and then work on doing your research. And especially if you're doing it all on a budget, then if you feel it's beneficial to you to get a better quality one, then do that.
Right.
But it's
Absolutely.
not, everything on a budget in this day and age. Gotta
Everything on a budget.
gotta get everything in the
right.
budget.
Absolutely.
So what is your niche clientele? Like, what are you looking for to help build your business?
So my niche clientele would probably be, the clientele that gets the most benefit, hands down, are women 50, 55 and over. And I say that because as men, we're reluctant to invest in our bodies. Like the women would be more apt to do it versus
Right.
a man. Take care of self care and all that kind of stuff. So that's one reason. And that woman who's 50 and over, she realizes a lot of her physical situations that she's lost. So she has way more to gain, and she's interested in gaining it. It's a priority for her.
Yeah.
So those clients, women 50 and over, they are repeat customers. They come in and they really enjoy it and they see the benefit.
Yeah.
So yeah, they understand what they lost and they understanding what they're gaining and
And
they
what they're getting
love
back. Yeah. And that, so I used to know a geriatric physical therapist that went into people's homes, and he would tell me all the time that, like, women, we got things to do, and we got people relying on us. So
Okay.
we break a leg, we do something, and we need physical therapy or whatever. We're going to do the work.
Right.
Because we got to get back out there and doing things because people are relying on us.
Right.
Men, break a hip, whatever, knee surgery, and then they're like, oh, do I have to do the work?
Right.
Oh, okay. And he would be like, the women are always way more motivated
Yes.
than the men.
Yes.
Because we have kids or aging parents or just friends that we're trying to take, because we're caregivers. We have people relying on us. So
Yeah.
if we're not at our best selves, our world falls apart.
Yeah.
And
Man.
men are very much in that they compartmentalize, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, okay, well, I just can't do that anymore. All right,
Right.
that's, and so they just kind of, well, my dad is the key of this. It is what it is,
what it is.
and it's
See?
like it doesn't have to be that way
See,
though.
And that's the thing. So I have a friend who was playing football and he hurt his toe. He stomped his big toe, and I heard it. It popped.
Yeah,
I was like, "B, man, you okay?" He's like, "Nah, man, I'm good. I'm good." And he had to stop playing.
yeah,
And kind of like probably 3 or 4 weeks later, it was still hurting, and it broke. It was broke, but he didn't go to the doctor. He didn't do
No.
any of that, and then it healed.
I'll just walk it off.
Right, just walk it off, right, and it healed, but
It didn't heal right.
it didn't heal right. So he went. It was crooked. So he went to the doctor. The doctor was like, "Yeah, in order for us to fix it, we're gonna have to re-break it."
Uh-huh.
And he was like, "Nah, I'm good on that." But my point in the story is, had he went to the doctor and fixed it, he didn't. Not doing so, he lost out on a lot of potential that he could do from that toe. Like
Yeah.
there's certain things that he just cannot do.
Yeah. And not only does it take, I mean, for a natural break anyway, take, 6 weeks, 8 weeks to heal sometimes.
Right.
But then if you do get it fixed and rebooked, then you're out another 6 to 8
Right,
weeks
right,
where
right.
like you can cut that time in half if you
Right.
just get it looked at.
Right. But the fact that he's not gonna do it, that potential is gone.
Yeah.
Forever. You
Yep.
understand? Because a man just is not apt to take care of himself the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, just as long as it don't hurt, like it's absent.
Yeah.
The pain is absent, but
Yeah.
but just because the pain is absent, don't mean that it's healed to the full capacity.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. My dad, right after him and my mom divorced, he was up on the roof of his house working on it. Single guy, he fell off the roof, left a note for me and my aunt saying, "If I died, here's what happened."
Oh my goodness! See what I'm saying? Classic. That's
I'm like,
classic, right?
Dad, go to the doctor, call an ambulance, something, dude.
If I die,
If I die, I fell off the roof. That is what happened.
So that gives you insight. Like he knows that this could potentially be a real problem.
Right.
But instead of me going to go get it checked out by a professional, I'm just gonna hang out and just tough it out and pray for the best. Like help me. That's classic
Right?
men, right?
Oh my gosh. And yeah, it is. And like, so my husband doesn't really work out. He knows he's losing muscle tone because he used to have a very active job. He's not more sedentary. He knows that he should be doing things and all of that. And even, I just tell he loves disc golf, and I'll say, take your stuff with you and hit Hop Springs or something on the way home,
Mm-hmm.
hit somewhere. And, oh, well, it was hot, or, oh, I was just so tired. And it's always, I'm like, this is something you love, and you
Right.
won't even be active for something you love.
Right.
Um,
Right.
we
Right.
went, we went hiking a few, last month in Townsend, and like he had to stop so much going up the hill, and his calves were on fire, and everything hurt. And I'm just chucking
Yeah.
along.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we need to hike more so I get more endurance up. And I'm like, you don't have to hike to have
Right.
endurance for that. You can do other things. I'm
That's
like, we
right.
could just walk our street. And he's like, oh, but that's boring. I'm like, but it's still doing something,
Right. Right.
which is
Right.
better
Right.
than nothing.
That's right. That's right.
And I can't even pull him out to get him to do. We have a full gym in our garage. I mean, and it's not until his 15-year-old and my 14-year-old were finally deciding to lift that he wanted to go out there and like show them like what he could still do. And I'm like, okay,
Right.
like
Right.
have fun with that. But even, our his 15-year-old has come up and been like, if I work out every day with you in the morning, he thinks he's gonna get up at 4 a.m. and work out with me. Good luck. If I get up every morning at 4 a.m. and work out with you, and then like me and Edward go outside and we work out in the afternoons and do the weights and do all the things, and how soon will I see results? And I'm like,
Right.
well, depends,
Right.
because depends on what you're eating, what you're bringing in. Edward takes creatine, you don't. Like, you do some creatine, prioritize protein.
Right.
And so everything last weekend was, does this have protein in it? How much protein does this have? Does that have protein in it?
Right.
And I'm like, and also I know when they go to the other parent's house, my son included, like they're eating Sonic all the time, or there's chips, and there's things that we just don't have at our house
Right.
there. And he doesn't have any gym equipment at his mom's house. And I'm like, so dude, like,
Yeah.
you're not going to gain as much as you think you are. You're not going to see the definition, at least, as
Right.
much as you think you are, because every other week, body weight is great. But if you're, really wanting to lift, you can sustain things with body weight, but you got to be diligent. You don't have me there cheering you on. You don't have me there getting you up at 4 a.m.
Right.
You don't have and so I'm like, I can't tell you how long
Right.
it's going to take you to see results,
Right.
because there's a week that's out of our control, and that's all on you
That's
and what
on
you do.
That's right.
So, you have to be self-disciplined in that moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I don't, most 15-year-olds
It-
aren't, so
exactly.
and that's okay.
Exactly. That's
But, I'm like, if you want, and he then think, oh, well, Edward has it lucky because, he's here with you all the time and he has all this equipment. I'm like, he doesn't go out, he goes climbing trees. That's how he has definition. Like, he's doing pull-ups on the tree, climbing up the tree.
Right.
I'm like, me and him don't work out together.
Right. Right.
But he takes his creatine.
That's
And he
crazy.
goes outside, and he's an outside kid. He's not a reader. He wants to be
Yeah.
outside doing things. And I'm like, that makes a world of difference,
it does.
being active in general.
Right. Right. How old is he?
So my stepson is 15, my son is 14.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
they're getting there. But hey, if they want to get healthy and they want to do things, I'm all for it. I'll get him up at 4 a.m. if he really thinks he's
Right.
going to work out.
Right. Right. Right.
But I'm gonna tell him, like, I will come downstairs at 4 a.m. You have till 4:15 to be upstairs. If you are not upstairs by 4:15, I'm not wasting my morning waiting on you, because I
Right.
usually have to be out the door by 5:15.
Gotcha.
So, I can't be doing all this
Gotcha.
all morning. So
Yeah.
you're either motivated or you're not. So
Right.
next week is gonna be the testament to
Yeah.
see
Yeah. Yeah.
how much he really does.
Yeah.
So, what fitness trends have you seen that you just shake your head at and you're just like, oh, why is that a thing?
Fitness trends that I've seen. So I guess the jury's out on the keto thing for like for it to be a way of life, like to
It's very hard to make it a way of life.
right. I'm talking about
But yeah.
like that's your
Yeah.
just your lifestyle.
Right.
So I'm looking at that. I'm still trying to figure that out. That's one of the biggest trends that I see, that I at least hear about.
Yeah.
Not too many. What trends do you? What trends do you?
So, they're going back to some of the women on like Skinny Talk was a thing there for a while, like not eating very much again, eating
wow.
like a bird. Like I'm like, are we back in the 90s?
Oh
Like I
wow.
thought we
I didn't.
decided that
Wow.
wasn't a thing.
Wow. I never heard of this.
Yeah, and so it was all over TikTok. It was called Skinny Talk, and these girls that were like eating like less than 800 calories a day.
Wow.
To be skinny, and I'm like, skinny isn't
That's not
necessarily
it.
healthy.
No. Yeah.
And then I did just watch the Fit for TV Biggest Loser
Biggest Loser.
documentary.
Okay.
And again, like some of the things they said, and I'm like, you do have to take it with a grain of salt, like what we know now versus what we knew then.
Right.
And I do think it's very interesting that they had some of the trainers or trainer on there, and that's very prominent. Should go watch it, but he never admitted or denied anything. They would pull up something and a video of something or an allegation of something, and he never really admitted or denied anything.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that makes me curious. But just the fact that, and finding out that so many of them had gained some of the weight back, and it wrecked their metabolism, and whether that was, if that was really a thing, or was that control group. It really wasn't a control group, it was just 14 contestants at one point. But how a lot of them gained it back. Like you seclude these people, they're not real life experiences. They don't have their everyday life getting in the way of things. And, you really have to, you can't, that's not a way to lose the weight.
Right.
I mean, you've got to fit it into your everyday life.
And now that we're talking about it, I'm seeing a lot more people doing like procedures and stuff. And I'm not against it per se, but if you're going to do the procedure, that's not the end of it. That's not the cure all be all. So after you have whatever procedure you go through, there's still a diet regimen.
Or even the shots.
Even the shots.
If you're not changing anything and that's the only thing you're doing.
So I've been seeing that a lot. People are thinking that they can get a shot or have a procedure done and they be good, but there's still a lifestyle that has to be. That has to accompany that for it to be sustainable. If not, you spend all this money on this procedure and you're gonna be right back big.
And I wish, and I don't know if they do this. I know some people who've had the procedure and some people who've done the shots. And I've not heard of this, but I wish before you make that investment, like you had to go and talk to a therapist. You had to go and get educated. Mentally, be prepared for everything. And physically, I know 2 people who have had the gastric bypass, and I know a couple more, but I know 2 people who did not succeed on it. And it's if things aren't changing, and sometimes it's genetics, and if and procedure, like if you have to have it, if you really think it's going to work,
go for it.
But start making the changes before you start.
That's good. That's a good part.
And make sustainable changes. Not, I'm just going to go on a crash diet, or I'm just going to.
I like that.
Yeah,
if you can start the lifestyle that you plan to live, or that you're gonna have to live afterwards, it would be good to do a 3 to 6 month. Like kind of get some momentum before you have the procedure. Yeah. Because you want to win. You don't want to spend all that money and to be right back in the situation again.
Right.
A year or 2 years down the line.
Right.
That's not good. And I understand that some people battle with different things. We don't know everybody's story.
Right.
So if that's
one of them is more of a mental health issue, why she had gained it back.
Okay. But whatever that looks like, and it's within your budget, whatever that looks like, more power to you, go do it. But just know what is going to be on the other side of that decision. Be educated about it.
And the stomach's one of those organs that it can expand, and so even if you take half of it, you can eventually expand that back out to fill this, so your stomach can shrink, it can expand.
Yeah.
And if you're constantly overeating, even if you have this, it's going to eventually get big again to hold more food. So you're
Right.
not going to feel as full
And you're gonna be hungry.
and as long. Yeah.
Right.
And so prioritizing fiber and protein fills you up more,
Right.
makes you feel, I know, one of my good friends had the gastric bypass, and they were very much about making sure you're getting your protein in, drinking the protein shakes and the whatnots, and doing all that. So that was a good thing. And she actually works in mental health, so she knew all the mental health things that went with it. But I was like, I wish they made that more of a priority, to make sure that you're A, getting it done for the right reasons, and B, that you're going to be able to make changes to go long term with it,
Right,
because
right.
it makes a huge difference.
Right.
And that the shots, so I used to work at a chiropractor and his red light therapy, and
Okay.
people would come in thinking, oh, this red light therapy is going to make me lose all this weight, and I'm like, it's not. And when you're eating a burger outside before you walk in, like, it does better if you're fasted.
Wow. Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah,
you're eating a burger from Burger King
Right.
out in the parking lot.
Right.
You're not making the changes. You're
Yeah.
not going to see the results.
Right,
And then you
right.
blame the item,
program,
the
right,
program, and
right.
it's like, no, that's not it.
That's not it.
You really have to look at what you're eating, what you're putting in your body, what you're doing for mindful movement. It doesn't have to be a strenuous exercise routine, but it's just being mindful of the movements that you're doing, that, you're moving with a purpose.
Right.
You're not just willy-nilly doing whatever,
Right.
going for a casual walk around the neighborhood. No, go for a walk to where you couldn't hold a conversation.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
get that heart rate up.
Right. How important is it for you to be a representation of what you're promoting to the people?
So I have struggled a lot with my weight over the years.
Okay.
And I, because I have teenage daughters, I talk about, I don't say skinny, but when I was my leanest, I mean, I was super calorie restriction. It was how few calories could I get in but still actually eat. And so dinner was like a bowl of peas. And I'm talking like canned peas, not
my
even like
goodness.
fresh peas.
Wow.
Because it had a little bit of protein in it.
Right.
And working out 3 or 4 times a day, as much as I could.
Wow.
And and then on top of that, working a full-time and a part-time job with kids at home. So I was miserable. I was miserable.
Yeah.
And my whole thing, because BMI,
Oh.
we'll get on that one in
That's
a
a
minute.
cuss word.
BMI
That's a cuss
told
word.
me I needed to be 125 for being 5'2".
You would look sick.
I could not break 131 to save my life. No matter what I did. The lowest I ever got was 131. And it took a strong mental toll on me that I couldn't get down to what the doctors say I should be.
Wow.
And so then I subsequently gained, 20, 30 pounds, after that. And, but then, as God does, he forced me out of retail. And I was like, I've been taking fitness classes and whatnot. And I was like, well, I kind of like, fitness. So I got my personal training certification, and then subsequently got my nutrition
deal.
and really learned about macros.
Game
And
changer.
yes,
Game changer. Yeah.
And that, your body needs fuel, or else it thinks it's always
Game
starving.
changer. That
and
is
then you're not
fantastic.
going to burn fat.
Y'all hear that?
That's
a game changer.
I was lean, but I still had more fat than muscle.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy how
I was like that skinny fat, or that fat skinny, whatever
Fat
it is,
skinny.
where my body, I didn't have a lot of muscle on me, but
Right.
I was leaner.
right.
But yeah.
I think it's crazy how negative situations like that can put you in a position where you are trying to find a way to find a solution, or find your happy place or find, because reason why I say that, because I went to the gym all the time. I don't know if you ever heard me saying, but it's one thing. It sucks to go to the gym a lot and not get results, and you're being consistent, and you're not your body's not, you're not really seeing results. And it took, like, my wife, she left. We was living in Florida. She left and took the boys, and it put me in this funk. Like, it was me and Christian, my son.
Yeah.
And it put me in a funk, and I was depressed. And the only thing I was doing was reading my Bible and going to the gym. Mm-hmm. And I was going to the gym for like 6 to 8 months, and I didn't see any results. And I was in the gym like 3 hours, because I didn't have by this time my son, I had a place where he was in a home at this place at this time. So it was just, I wasn't going home anywhere. I had no reason. I didn't want to be
so
there.
you were just
So I was in the gym, right? And I'm like, hold on, I'm in here for like 2.5, 3 hours, and I still feel the same. So I started doing my research, and that's when I say macros.
Yeah.
Or like that was it. Mm-hmm. So then I started honing in on it, and I was feeling better, and my mind was getting clear. I was in a happy state, and before I knew it, I didn't realize it, but I had lost like 20 pounds, and all of a sudden now my muscle stuff is starting to pop out a little bit. I'm like, what in the world just happened? Yeah.
Well, and there's a weight, whether you have more muscle or more fat, there is a weight your body likes to be at, where you feel your best.
Like homeostasis?
Right, yeah. Like mine is right around the 137 to 145 range. I am happiest there. I feel good. I have energy. And sometimes that range has been a little fluffier. Sometimes that range has been a little leaner.
I like that. A little fluffier.
But, if I stick in that range, then I know I'm switching out, muscle, so I look a little leaner because I have more muscle. And so, my clients, I have an InBody scanner, but we don't do a scale. Mm-hmm. I don't want to know what you weigh. I want to know what the percentages are. Mm-hmm, so then we're looking at how we're flipping that table. Mm-hmm, we're upping the muscle and we're decreasing the fat.
I don't know if the term is body composition, but how it's distributing the fat and all that stuff through the body. I think that's way more important than how much you weigh.
Right, which goes back to that BMI that is a cuss word.
Right.
It's literally a math equation of your height times your, like, with your weight or whatever. So it's just a math equation. It doesn't tell you. And when I started doing the gym I worked at got a eVolt scanner, and the first time they did that, my muscle mass and my skeletal mass was higher than what my BMI would have been. So if I would have dropped down, I would have had 0% body fat, which is not healthy for women at all.
Right.
Even men, but men can get leaner than women can.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, so I'll never be 125.
Right.
Because my lean body whole mass is more than 125.
Right. Gotcha.
So yeah, knowing where you're at. And I've had a friend who, or a previous client who had, lipodemia and lipodemia and a couple of those things. And, we fought her insurance with her to get her the surgery she was doing all the right things, eating right, working out, all that stuff. So I did the InBody scanner, and her lean body mass was amazing, and so much muscle and all of that. And we were able to use that to prove, because her doctor literally wrote on her thing that it was because that she needed to eat less, and that it was because she was overeating was why she was fat. Not because she had these ailments.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, and so because he put that, that's what the insurance looked at.
Oh,
and
man.
so we wrote this whole thing, me and the gym owner, like, she's in here working out, she's doing all this stuff. Here's how she's grown in her weights that she's been able to use. Here's how she, she's been sending me her food, and yes, she sends me her food, and she could be lying about it, but she's so dialed in. I don't think she is.
She's diligent.
And so it was all these things to get the insurance to cover the surgery, to get the excess fluid off. And that's a totally different type of fat that your body retains with those ailments. And so I've used the InBody scanner just to like, you have more lean muscle mass than you think you do.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, think about it. Like obese people or people that are overweight, they're carrying around like put on an extra like 20-pound weighted vest and see how much muscle you build,
Right.
like
Exactly.
all the
Like,
time.
yeah.
Like I have a 10-pound weighted vest that just reminds me of those 10 pounds I don't want to gain back.
That's
You know,
good. That's
but
good.
like put that on a normal person as an everyday barrier and look at how their energy drops, look at how much muscle they may put on, look at all these other
Yeah.
things, like because they're carrying around that extra weight.
Right.
So I don't think anybody can not work out. You have the muscle mass to work out, you just have to figure out what kind of workout you enjoy first off,
Boom.
because if you don't enjoy it,
Listen, anything that is you have to be committed to and that's hard, you have to find a way to enjoy some of it. You have to, because you're not going to enjoy it. The odds of you sticking to it are slim to none. You know, and that's something that I had to do at the gym. I didn't just like being at the gym, but I found a way to enjoy it. It became my sanctuary.
Yeah.
And then when I started to lose the weight and I started to see my muscles appearing, it was a dopamine hit. Like I was hooked. Like man, that was 2 years ago. I don't foresee it going away. And as a man, I'm aging, I'm getting older, and that's when the supplements you're talking about even more. Like I need to be eating even more protein because as you age, your body naturally deteriorates protein. Muscle mass. So I have to be intentional about making sure that I'm adjusting my diet appropriately.
right, and making sure that you get all that dialed in, because I mean as we age and we lose muscle mass, we need to be making sure protein should always be a priority. Always. But and there are new studies and research coming out, like some people's bodies respond better to keto or Atkins or whatever you want to call it these days.
Paleo,
it's been everything.
Right.
And then some people do better with high protein and high fat diets. Some people do better with more carb. But protein should always be a priority, no matter what nutrition. And I usually use the word like nutrition over diet, because it really should be a lifestyle. It should be how you're changing your life, and that our taste buds change.
They do.
So something you didn't like as a teenager, you may enjoy today.
Yes.
And so always try new foods, try different ways it's cooked. It could just be how the
textures.
Texture or the seasoning used on it. Like, if you would have told me 10, 15 years ago that I would like roasted asparagus, that I would like fresh green beans, that I would like
Squash?
I would be like, you crazy.
Get out of here, yeah.
You crazy. Dark chocolate.
Right.
Oh, I hated dark chocolate. But your flavor profile changes. And even if it's something you don't necessarily super enjoy, like for women when we're craving the chocolate, you may not enjoy the dark chocolate, but your body's getting more magnesium and it's getting better quality of nutrients than milk chocolate. So have a little square or two of that, and then have your, like, if you really need chocolate, then have your other chocolate. But slowly build up your taste buds to like other things.
Right. That's good.
And because the first time you try it, you get that kind of culture shock that, like, oh, I don't really like, but, try it again.
Right.
Try it a third time. We tell our kids when they're babies or they're young kids, well, I don't like that anymore. We'll just try 3 bites of it.
Right.
But we don't do it.
Right.
We're like, oh, I don't like it. I'm done. I don't want it anymore.
Right.
It's like constantly try, something better, try something different, and just try to make better choices in the foods that you do like. We used to do the Stouffer's lasagna all the time. That was the only lasagna my mom cooked. My aunt, homemade, made an amazing lasagna. I loved her. I was the first in line for seconds. Like I could eat the whole thing. I loved it. So I asked her for her recipe one time, and it was right as I was getting into fitness. I was trying to do better about what we were putting in. I was like, well, at least I know everything that's in this.
Right.
And then I started slowly switching out like some of the ground beef for ground turkey, and then I was doing half zucchini noodles, and then I was slowly over time literally 3 years
Yeah.
switching things out, regular noodles to whole grain noodles
Right.
to now we use protein noodles
Yeah.
kind of things
Wow.
in it.
Yeah. Wow.
But slowly switching things out. And we went back to St. Louis a couple years ago, and she made her lasagna for something. And I was like, oh, I get to have Aunt Doris's lasagna. I haven't had this in years. This is great. I got through half of a slice, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't like this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Right.
This, she made it the exact same she always does.
Right.
But I had changed so much of it that, I don't like her
happens.
version anymore. I'd rather have mine. And my kids now call it Mom's Famous Lasagna because whenever we go anywhere, people ask me to make my lasagna.
Wow.
And I've made it in like frozen packs for my clients sometimes, and I've made vegan versions of it. And I've all the things. So, but you do take the time, get used to make one small change, give yourself time to get used to that, make another small change in the recipe or in your, and get your child. It makes a difference. The food I eat now looks nothing like the food when I first started personal training or even before that, because everything was packaged and boxed and nothing was fresh. So it does make a difference, and we're getting more and more access to better foods out there, and being mindful of where our food's coming from.
Yeah.
So trying to buy local, trying to get it as close to the source, eating with the seasons
Right. Eating with the seasons
is so
Yep.
important.
It is. Absolutely, man. That you're right on point. For sure.
What's your favorite healthy food?
My favorite healthy food. I'm a meat eater, so I love all of it, like steaks, ribs. But a food that's people probably don't really like, Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, like I didn't grow up liking that kind of stuff, but being intentional about eating healthy and just doing it I started looking at my food as like fuel. So it was a different motivation. So I start enjoying it. Like I drink coffee now with nothing in it, just black coffee.
Okay.
And I hated it, but now I love it. Like
Yeah.
I drank black coffee, and I started researching coffee. So, coffee. People say that if you want to lose weight, to drink coffee, but what they're not telling people is, because people think to drink coffee boosts my metabolism, I'm automatically losing weight. But here's what it actually does: it actually mobilizes the fat in your body. So when the fat what I mean by being mobilized is readily to be used. So if you go for a walk after you drink a cup of coffee with nothing in it, you're gonna burn fat faster because it's already hot. The caffeine has already done its work. It's like liquid. It's ready to go, and it'll burn faster. It's like having fat on the stove, like that you cook with.
Yeah.
And when you put fat in the skillet, you cook whatever you cooking, it's liquid. But if the residue, the fat that's still on the skillet, if you turn the skillet off, come back 2 hours later,
Solidified. Yeah.
that's the same thing happens in our body. If we don't
Yeah.
do nothing with the fat, it's gonna solidify back up.
Yeah.
So I try to
Yeah.
explain that to my clients and to encourage them to drink coffee without the stuff in it if they
Right.
can, And
That's the thing. Oh, I drink coffee, but you have more sugar in so you like sweetened milk with a little bit of coffee.
right.
That's what ends up being.
Yep.
So how can people find you, follow you?
So, like she said, I work with New Motion Fitness, certified personal trainer, certified stretch therapist. I am mobile, so you could call me 850-266-1434, and I could come to your place of residence, or we can meet somewhere. I have a brick and mortar here in Murfreesboro and a brick and mortar in Shelbyville. The Shelbyville address is 116 East Main Street. The Murfreesboro address is 1634 Battleground Road by Crunch Fitness and
Okay.
Champions.
Okay. Yeah.
And just call. Everything is by appointment because I want to make sure that my books are good and we're on the same page.
Right.
It's $50 for 30-minute sessions. Normally, I do run $33 specials for 30 minutes periodically, just to get
Right.
people in there and get introduced to what I do. Do have packages, 4 packages for $180. You get a $20 discount if you buy 4 packages.
Okay.
And I love what I do, man. And it's it's great.
Did you know that they have done studies and personal training has the highest satisfaction for like the people who do it? Like
right,
we have the
right.
highest job satisfaction
Wow, I didn't
out of
know that.
anybody.
I didn't
And I'm
know
like,
that.
that totally makes sense.
It does make
Because
sense.
you're like, I love what I do. And I'm like, I love what I do. And
Right.
yeah.
Right. So that's me, Coach
Good.
Q. Yep.
Coach Q. Yeah. It's been great talking to you.
Yes.
So glad you're able to come
Man,
and,
thank you
and
for
chat with
having
me
me.
today.
Thank you so much.
And shout out to Trent from
Yeah.
Spread the Positive podcast.
Trent the man.
He makes me look good and gets everything together, and love being part of his 1200 club. If you want to know more about how you can be part of the 1200 club,
Yeah.
then send Trent or me a message, and I'll be happy to get you connected to him.
Yep.
And but I am Casey with KK Fitness Training. You can find me at kkfitnesstraining.com and or on Instagram, Facebook, all those places. So like and follow, and on YouTube where this will probably be posted. And that was good. I'm done.